So I've been catching flack from a lot of people recently talking about, hey, why aren't you on this game? Hey, why aren't you on that game? The answer is very simple. I've been playing Genshin. Now, if you know what Genshin is, then you'll probably understand that response. But I realized most of my friends don't play Genshin. So they don't understand why I'm investing so much time into one game. So I figured, why not show them? And so that's exactly what I'm gonna do today. I'm going to show you guys my, I guess, day in the life of a mostly free-to-play or F2P Genshin player. Hopefully, it'll shed some light as to why I'm never on games as much anymore as I play Genshin. So, first things first, I wake up in my day and I've already completed my commissions. You can see here, they'd be right here. If I didn't play late last night, then this right here will be near 160. What I need to do is condense my resin. Condensing your resin turns it into this. And resin is essentially a useful material that regenerates up to a maximum point and will generate past that maximum point. Now the problem is, when it tries to generate past that maximum point, it can't, so it's lost. Naturally, that's a bad thing. So what Genshin players do to prevent that from happening is condensing their resin. One of these bad boys is worth 40 of these bad boys. And 20 of these bad boys will get me good stuff from, let's say, this place here. These are artifacts. It's very useful, but let's not talk about that today. We can talk about that later. So I wake up in the morning, I condense my resin. Okay? That's the first thing to always do. And if I don't have the stuff to condense it, then I have to head to places like Dawn Winery, Windrise, Starfell Lake, Guyun Stone Forest, to collect these little things called crystal flies, which luckily I have a character to do so. So, as you can see already, something that can be very annoying is condensing your resin. The next thing I have to do is my daily commissions. So daily commissions are daily tasks that you have to do. It's 4 different tasks that you do for something called Primo Gems. Do all 4 of them. Once I do all 4 of them, I head to one of 3 places, either here, here, or here. And I can basically cash in those tasks for in-game money. Speaking of the in-game money, Primo Gems, what are they? They are the main reason, and let me get personal with you here. They are the main reason that I am never available. Because in order to get high amounts of Primo Gems, you need to devote a lot of time to this game, unless you want to pay money. Because Genshin is what we call a gacha game. And gacha games have the goal of making the player be able to play the game for free, but feel pressured into paying money for the game. Now, the way Genshin does this is very specific, and it catches a lot of people. Those people are what we call whales. They spend lots of money on the game. The people who spend no money, no matter what, on the game are what we call free-to-play. I'm a mix of the two. I've spent money on 2 things in this game. I've spent money on this here, which is a battle pass, which I think a lot of people can relate to spending money on battle passes. And I've spent money on, go right here, something that I get daily. And this is the biggest reason why I need to log in every day. This is called the Blessing of the Welcome Moon. And it's a 30-day, basically, subscription of sorts, where for $5, every single day you log in, for those 30 days, you can collect 90 Primo Gems. Now, that's a pretty good damn deal, considering that, The only other way of paying money to get Primo Gems is this right here, Genesis Crystals. Each Genesis Crystal turns into Primo Gem. Now, the way Genshin makes their money off of the Blessing of the Welkin Moon is that even though it gives more Primo Gems, we have to wait time. If we don't want to wait time, then we'll just outright buy them for the same price, right? But where Genshin fails with me is that I don't mind waiting so long as I don't have an imminent goal. And right now, I'm saving for that imminent goal so that I don't have to buy anything for it. That's how I play, and that's why I always need a surplus of Primos. Because the bad thing to that is that if I use a lot of Primos on that imminent goal, then find out another character like Ganyu or Raiden Shogun is going to be part of my next imminent goal and is coming on the next banner, that I'm screwed. Primo Gems are basically the heart and soul of the reason for me not being active, if you wanted to boil it down to that. Other than Primo Gems and daily commissions, there's running domains for something we call artifacts, which artifacts I don't really want to get into right now. It's a lot more complicated. Artifacts, materials, we don't need to talk about that. Materials I may talk about, however, because materials are pretty imperative to the gameplay. And the reason for them being so imperative is that we actually need a lot of materials for a lot of different things in this game. Take, for example, the spear that this character named Zhao has right now. They're using something called the Primordial Jade Winged Spear. It's a 5-star weapon that I just recently got that gives a really good buff to this character. A crit rate buff, which I need desperately. In order to make this better, I need different materials. Weapon Ascension material, and then character level up material that also works as Weapon Ascension material, and more character level up material that works as level ascension material. Something like this right here will take me a long time to grind out for. Which means, of course, that I have to spend a long time trying to grind that particular item. You can see where the problem starts to start. Because something like that item I just showed you can take ages to farm enough of, to the point where I can actually do what I need to do with that item. Stuff like that takes me a while to actually end up doing, and will probably end up taking me multiple days, especially if it's not a weekend. Weekends I get to spend, grind my heart and soul out on this game. Weekends and, days where I don't have to, do school. Another thing that I've had to go around doing recently is exactly this, gathering electroculuses, or electroculi in this case. That'll be plural I. The big thing with that is that basically it gives me Primo Gems, and it gives me an item that's also going to give me more Primo Gems. So basically, if I don't farm it, I'm just dumb. But they take a while to farm. That's the big issue. Most of the stuff with Genshin, because it's a gacha game, is a matter of time. It takes me a long time to do this. It takes me a long time to do that. It takes me a long time to do pretty much everything in this game. Now, another thing right here is exactly what I just did. Challenges and world exploration. Whenever I open a chest, especially in this region, I get 5... well, when it's this type of chest anyway, I get 5 Primo Gems. Which at first may not seem like a lot, but when you consider it in the long term, getting a bunch of those chests means a lot of Primo Gems. Which, as I've already stated, is something I need. This is what it's like fighting characters for me usually. Unless I need to change up my team composition. This is usually how it looks when I fight characters in this game. This one's a particularly tough enemy, but it's not that bad. See, just like that, I already defeated it.
Why would anyone want...
I have to go around the world doing stuff like this to get Primo Gems, especially in a pinch. A few updates back, or I guess a few banners back, really, I actually was struggling to try and get a certain character. And I got to my pity, purely, which I'll explain that system in a second, but I got to what's called my pity, purely off of doing stuff like this, even, where I'm guiding this thing, which is called a ceiling. And I'm getting Primo Gems at the end out of it. But guess what? We haven't even gotten to the encumbersome part of things. Because then, there's events. Events like this, where I haven't even started it yet. So I don't know what it's about. We have hangouts, which are like tedious story quests for the characters, basically. You may not want to do them, as I don't. I don't care about the characters in this game. I actually could really care less. However, it gives that sweet, sweet Primo Gem. We all know, at this point, that I gotta have the Primo Gems. So, I'm basically stuck doing that stuff. See, now I'm doing stuff like this as well, where it's puzzles. We'll just... And see, this is more Primo Gems. Oh, and something I need for what I'm now gonna get into, puzzles. Yeah, so turns out that there's puzzles that they've added that take many steps. And I say that because right now I need to figure out a puzzle that requires these. These are stone slates. And I need them because there's a puzzle that requires them. It actually requires quite a few of them. Now, of course, if I complete the puzzle, then I'm gonna get a reward out of it. However, completing a puzzle like that takes time. I mean, a ton of time. And without guides, which I do end up using, but without guides, theoretically it would take forever, basically, to find all the stuff that you actually need for those kind of puzzles. Now, like I said, luckily, I don't care about that kind of stuff, so I use guides.
If it's useful, I'll take it.
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't take a long time. Honestly, I think that's a pretty fair glimpse into how my time as a Genshin player is. Mind you, I do all this stuff for two reasons. One, characters for what is called the Spiral Abyss, which is a challenge thing that's very, very difficult and currently impossible for me because I can't get through a certain floor. So, there's this. That's one reason. The other reason is so that when Genshin finally ends, and if not like 2 or 3 years, 5 years, I want to have a really good team, a bunch of good teams actually, that can handle anything thrown at them. That's my goal in Genshin. But for me to hit that goal, it's going to be a long time of farming. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys have a bit more of a clear perspective as to why I don't spend a lot of time on a lot of games anymore. Okay, so the thing with Hu Tao is supposed to be jump canceling, right? And then their charged attack? 15k pyro damage. Tasty. Alrighty, just gonna... What I'm gonna do here, since Hu Tao's the manager of the Guangshun funeral parlor, I'm just gonna kill all of my characters here. Each of these characters is a Liyue character, if you can't tell already. But we're hoping for the least amount of wishes to get to Hu Tao. Worst case scenario, I just hit the pity. Best case scenario, I do a 10 roll right now and I get it. I think we're on 40 though, so...
Is this retribution?
Alrighty guys, this is the last character. Just gonna fly them over ever so fucking slowly. And I think I should be able to open the thing as soon as I land. Alrighty. I killed all of the characters. I guess I should start wishing. Let's check the pity. That's 42. So we are at least 2 10 rolls from any kind of pity. So let's get it, chat. Let's get it, chat. Here we go. First one, first handful. 4-star. Alright, I also want Toma. Toma would be nice to have right now. What is this? Why? 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 Let's do some more. Alright, this is 62 now. Sayu, I really did not care about Sayu. Like, at all. Alright, this should be 70 now. It looks like I'm gonna go all the way to pity. Being honest with you. Oh, we got Toma. Nice. And then Diona Constellation. So this should be 80 now. Hey! There we go. Ow! Oh, the strings. Alright. Hu Tao, Hu Tao, Hu Tao, Hu Tao, Hu Tao. Alright, so... Alright, so chat, I would keep wishing as much as I want to, but I'd be taking a bit of a chance by doing so. So for now, I'm just gonna hand it back over to the actual stream.